I don't know what school lunches were like when you were a kid. I'm a little older, but I never knew how much it had changed over the years. I saw an article with a picture of Oscar Mayer meats. I'll say Oscar Mayer meats so you know what I'm talking about, but it's deli meats, prepared deli meats, not the kind that you buy in the deli. You know, like with the slicer at the counter. You know, a supermarket has a deli counter. No, I'm talking about the packaged stuff. And I'll use Oscar Mayer, not because I'm picking them on, but it's the most, Hillshire Farms makes some, you know. There's all kinds of companies that make processed ham, processed bologna, whatnot. And they now said, terrible thing, you shouldn't eat this stuff at all. It's the worst thing for you. That's butter bun. No, it's just a bunch of BS. It's just another way that they can break down what it is to be an American kid. When I was a kid, my lunch was always the same thing. It was a sandwich, white bread, you know, Wonder Bread, white bread. Not whole wheat, not cracked wheat, not gluten-free, none of that crap. White bread, cut in half. And it was 3 or 4 pieces of luncheon meat on it. And then mustard, usually. Or mayo, right? Or peanut butter and jelly. That was common too. And then we bought a milk from the nuns. The nuns would come around with a hand truck with little pints of milk. Got a pint of milk. And you paid a quarter. You had your quarter, and you gave the nun 25 cents. Here's my quarter. And you got a pint of milk. So every now and then you'd have chocolate milk, but it was usually just plain old moo cow milk. And it wasn't 1%, it wasn't 2%. It wasn't crap milk, soy milk, or almond milk, or anything else. Just moo cow milk, right? I still drink it to this day. Vitamin D, moo cow. For a while, we had 2% around the house, and I said, oh, I can't deal with this anymore. Moo cow milk. Butter, right? Whole dairy butter. And usually a packaged treat. Sometimes we got a piece of fruit. Apple, orange. Orange was problematic when you were a kid because you had to peel it, and it would take 15 minutes, and then it was time for recess, you know. You'd be in the middle of peeling your orange, and you recess. There was always a few weird kids in class who would bring a tomato or sushi. I remember, I won't say his last name. There was a kid named Johnny who was the spaz of the class. He always had stuff like sardines and Jell-O for lunch. He was always one of those kids. And the girls always had weird lunches too. They always had the Barbie lunchbox, and they had, you know, they had the health. I don't know why, but girls always seemed to have the healthy. They always had the Roman meal bread, you know. But me and my friends, we grew up on this stuff every day. Bologna sandwich. We had the ham. We also had spiced ham, or lunch loaf. It was called lunch loaf. Oscar Mayer lunch loaf, which sometimes came with ketchup. Every now and then my mom would do that. I don't know why. The worst meal I ever got was liverwurst. And it was horrible stuff. I mean, my mom had to put 1,000,000 gallons of mustard on the thing to make it edible. It was just awful stuff. But we would get it every now and then. I don't know why she would do it. And she probably would, today, if I was to ask her, she would probably go, oh, but you love that stuff. I go, no, I hated it every time I got it. I had to choke it down, but I did it. But it was Oscar Mayer, right? I think it was Jones. Jones Sausage made it too. But we also had what I call today chicken poop. Underwood chicken spread. I call it chicken poop or ham spread. And they had liverwurst too. We got that sometimes. It's horrible stuff. I hated it. But you ate it, you know, and nothing happened to us. Nobody died. Nobody got sick. Nobody had any allergies. We got peanut butter and jelly. And you always had to bring a quarter. Because if you didn't, you went without milk. It wasn't like it is today. Oh, these poor kids, they don't get their food. We have to feed them. Horse dump. Parents feed their kids. That was it, in a brown sack. And sometimes I had a lunchbox. For a while, I had a lunchbox with a thermos. Right? And it was those old thermos brand thermoses with the glass thing. Invariably, it would last about at most a month, and I'd drop it, and it would break. Every time. Because the inside was metal glass. Really, that's what it was. It was a glass bottle inside a plastic thing. And sure enough, you know, a fifth grader or sixth grader going to drop it at some point. And I would do it. I would come home with a thermos full of glass and milk. You know, every now and then we had a thermos, but we pretty much bought milk from the nuns. And we had a brown sack. That was it. That was lunch. I still have my Star Wars one. It's in my cabinet one. That was it. And nothing happened to us. We were fine. We got along fine. We were all growing large, living large. Now we can't do that. Now it has to be a prepared lunch. We pay through the nose for it in these school fees with cafeteria. We didn't have a cafeteria when I was a kid. We ate lunch at our school desks, and then we had 15 minutes, and then the bell would ring. I grew up in a childhood like Christmas Story or a Peanut special. The bell rang. That's what was great about that movie, by the way. Do you remember the scene where he's got a tongue on a pole and he's stuck to it and the bell rings and the kids all run and he's going, oh, I'm stuck to the pole. He goes, the bell rang. I got to go. Bell rang. You're fucked. That was what it was when I was a kid. The bell rang when the nun walked around with the bell. You better get in line. And if you weren't in line at that second bell, you got a pink slip and you got marched off to the principal's office. That's how it was in my day. Didn't lose any kids. We didn't learn about 69er scissoring. We had Oscar Mayer lunch meats every day. The majority of the class ate the same friggin' lunch. Now you got to have whole wheat toast, pizzas, chicken nuggets, all kinds of... You don't need a hot lunch. Sandwich. Sandwich and a piece of fruit. Or what we usually got was a packaged treat. Like, you know, those devil dogs or yo-hos or yodels, you know? That was lunch. Nothing special. Nothing to look forward to, right? My personal favorite was Oscar Mayer bologna, the thin sliced. With like, instead of the 3 thicker ones, I would get like 5 or 6 of the thin one. That was my favorite lunch. And I'd have that with a devil dog and a thing of milk. I grew up fine. Grew up nice and strong, nice and healthy. Learned about power tools, not scissoring, right? Now they're telling us not good. Now they're telling us you got to have whole wheat bread. Nothing wrong with Wonder Bread. I still keep a loaf of Wonder Bread in, and every now and then I whip it out and I make toast or bologna sandwiches. Nothing wrong with it. This country has become like helicopter moms. Every little thing has to be managed and has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, if it's not exactly the nutritional maximum standard every day, you're in trouble. You don't have to feed kids Lunchables. You know what Lunchables are? Cheapo charcuterie. You got the cheese and the crackers and a little ham. That's not a fucking lunch. Get them a sandwich, man. Oscar Mayer bologna on white bread with a yodel and a mug of milk. He'll grow up just fine. You won't grow up afraid of his food. Can I eat this? Am I allergic to this? I can't eat that. There are some classrooms where you can't even bring a peanut butter and jelly sandwich into the classroom because Bobby is allergic. Well, fuck Bobby. He can go eat in another room. We're all eating peanut butter and jelly. Everyone, there's nothing wrong with peanut butter and jelly. It's a good sandwich. Peanut butter is loaded with protein and whatnot. And I'm sorry if he's allergic. But you know, that's his problem, not mine. It's not the rest of the classroom's problem. It's your problem. And there was always one kid, you know, that wasn't right, that always had to have some sort of special diet or something like that. Whatever. But it's gotten to be an epidemic with these helicopter moms. Don't play in the dirt. Don't play war games. We played war games all the time. I remember, I lived in New York and there was snow. And what they would do is we played tag and ring alevio was the game played on concrete. We didn't have grass to play on. We had a concrete parking lot. But when it snowed, the snowplow would come in and push all the snow off the side. So what we would do is build forts, and we would have floors. You know, we build snowballs, and we dig a trench in the snow piles, and we have huge snowball fight wars. Nothing wrong with that. It teaches kids stuff. It teaches kids about winning and losing, and to be a good winner and to be a good loser, and that's the way you play. And you don't get mad if you lose, and you don't lord it over somebody if you win. You go, good fight. I mean, we used to go back in, slapping each other back. That's a hell of a fight we had today. Oh, yeah, did you see what he did to Chris? Oh, he nailed him right in the face. Ah. That teaches kids to be adults. Eat a proper lunch. Nothing wrong with it. Wonder Bread, Oscar Mayer meats. Good for you. Right? So what if it's loaded with little fat? He's a kid. Right? You don't have to worry about your cholesterol when you're 9. You have lettuce on this. Now they got to have lettuce. They got to have tomato. And they got to have macaroni. You got to have a hot lunch. You don't need a hot lunch. It's nothing. Fuck kids. They'll get a hot dinner when they get home. Now they're serving breakfasts in school. Breakfast? What do you mean? Well, a kid who's got a full stomach learns better. Well, that's not him. My fucking problem as a taxpayer. That's his problem. That's his parents' problem. If he's not getting a proper breakfast, we'll take the kid away from the parents. Right? See, nobody wants to take any responsibility. That's what it really is. Nobody wants to take responsibility for themselves. They don't want to feed their kids. They don't want to pay for their own cars. They don't want to pay for their own retirement. They don't want to pay for their own insurance. They don't want to pay for their own way of life. And then when things go wrong, when they don't do it, they blame society and expect government to bail them out. I'm sorry, but that's not the way it works. And if you want to eat healthy food, go. That's fine. But don't tell me eating my liverwurst is somehow going to destroy the universe, okay? It ain't. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm tired of being told what's wrong, right? Let people alone. Leave them alone. Let them decide for themselves. Speaking of which, Sports Illustrated's at it again. Could anything get any worse than what's going on now? Let's talk about it. We'll be right back after this brief message.